Mr. Work, how are you? It sounds like you have some strong views on the debate and how Candace did.
Thank you for having me up. I just wanted to say, yeah, I think you're misrepresenting the whole debate. You keep saying that there was no evidence whatsoever, but we can argue as to the validity of the evidence, but just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it's not evidence, right? Would you agree with that statement?
No. When you talk about evidence, especially like in regard to a court case, it's something that has the tendency to make a fact more or less probable than it would be without the evidence. And the fact is of consequence. It's essentially a relevancy test. And the reason I'm saying that is, for example, if I could say, this is a meat thermometer I have for when I use my backyard smoker. As a result, it was Israel. And you're going to say, you're like, well, I mean, God, that meat, I don't doubt that you have a meat thermometer. I just don't see its connection to Israel. And you're like, yeah, well, you could believe or disbelieve the meat thermometer's connection to Israel. But ultimately, it is a meat thermometer. We agree I have one, right? You see the problem? The evidence has to actually be relevant.
Well, that's not true. Well, and I'm not saying that it's not relevant. I'm saying that the evidence itself can be proven to be false or not, but at the time, we would still consider it evidence. You used to be a lawyer, right? Have you ever seen in any case that you tried two
Didn't used to be.
evidences
Am a lawyer.
Okay, thank you. Have you ever seen any case where there was contradictory evidence, but it would still be entered in as evidence, wouldn't it?
Sure. But the evidence, in order to be entered into evidence, it has to be relevant, meaning it tends to make some fact of consequence more or less likely.
Yeah, so you're acknowledging the fact that the receipt, if true or if not true, because we don't know the actual validity of it. But at this point, it would be evidence as to his location, given the
No.
timeline of what she's trying to.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay.
The reason it's not. Oh, here we go. This is just a piece of paper, but let's pretend it's a receipt. Okay.
Mhm.
This is a receipt for a hamburger meal in New Jersey. Somebody bought some hamburgers, some sliders. They got a shake. They got a soda. They paid with a credit card. There's no name, and the number is blurred out. Is this evidence that Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk?
I mean, so the problem is you try to, and when you question the validity of it, it's not like Candace doesn't provide evidence that hasn't been seen before in the video releases that she's given.
Can we stay on my point before we move on?
Well, okay, because you're trying to say it's not relevant.
I think we would both agree that my hamburger receipt is irrelevant to Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah, but isn't the whole receipt trying to establish a timeline? So wouldn't that be
okay? I'm trying to establish a timeline, but my receipt doesn't. I'm not showing you credit card information that lets you link it to Tyler Robinson, and it doesn't have his name on it. I don't I'm just showing you a piece of paper and saying this is Tyler Robinson's receipt, but there's nothing on the piece of paper that makes it appear to be Tyler Robinson's receipt.
Whoa. But that's a question of validity. See, so now
that's not a question of validity. That's a question of relevance. Well,
no, because the relevance would be it's kind of odd that you would commit this and then go and eat at a steakhouse. It's not, you see, so there's relevance to establishing
so to your mind, if I can produce a receipt of a hamburger meal in New Jersey on September 10th at or around the time of the shooting, that's evidence that needs to be considered about whether Tyler Robinson did this crime?
Okay, but do you understand that in the facts that she gives, she tries to establish a timeline of what happened that day, right?
I am also trying to establish a timeline of what happened that day.
Okay, so her questioning. Actually, let me put my phone in.
My current theory, by the way, is that he's a time traveler and he teleported to New Jersey and bought a hamburger and then teleported back. Now, I think this sounds unlikely on some level, but I'm really convinced by this receipt that doesn't have his name on it or his credit card number. So because
you're trying to have it both ways. I got you. So you're trying to like have it both ways.
I'm not trying to have it both ways. What the problem is for evidence to be evidence, it has to make a fact more or less likely. A receipt that is not linked to Tyler Robinson does not make any fact more or less likely.
Yeah, but you can't say it's not his receipt because she, from her,
I don't have to show it's not
accounting,
his receipt. The hamburger
well,
receipt could be his receipt.
from her accounting of it, she talked to people who had direct knowledge of him, whether he was there or not.
I talked to a guy at the hamburger restaurant. They said Charlie Kirk appeared in a flash of smoke, bought a hamburger, and then gave me this receipt.
You see, but the whole problem with this, and I would actually agree with you, if she hasn't proven her credibility to be reliable, how does she get the footage of the guy on the roof that took the shot? Like, obviously, she has sources that are verified, that are providing her information that, hence, we can, when she says she talked to somebody, we know she's not bullshitting because she's proven that she's actually doing investigative journalism.
So you would agree with me then that there's nothing about the receipt that we have seen that links it to Tyler Robinson, and the reason that you find it credible is that you find Candace credible.
Okay, so now we're questioning the validity of the receipt, right? Of the evidence? Is that what we're doing?
I'm going to ask again because I want to make sure that you're following what I'm saying.
Well,
you would agree with me that there is nothing on the receipt itself that links it to Tyler Robinson that we have seen.
Well, before I answer that, and I will answer that.
No, not before.
Okay,
you would agree with me that there's
question?
nothing on the receipt that we have seen that links it to Tyler Robinson in and of itself.
If I answer your question, can you answer my question?
Sure.
Okay, so I agree from what we've seen that it's nothing that links directly to. Okay, so now
go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so whether it's if it was linked, if it turns out that the receipt is accurate, do you think that would be relevant to the case in establishing his location before he was arrested?
If they could prove that he was in that steakhouse, yeah, that would be relevant.
Oh, interesting. Because you were telling me whether he was there or not is irrelevant to whether he shot Charlie Kirk.
I did not say that.
Oh, you didn't. Wow, damn.
No,
okay.
In fact, you could go back and you could read a transcript of this, and you would never hear me say that.
Really?
What I said
you don't believe your lies, right? Because I want to go back and clip this.
The receipt is not relevant, and the reason the receipt is not relevant is that it doesn't establish any of those things for the reason you just admitted, that it doesn't actually have any data on it to indicate that it is Tyler Robinson's receipt. In fact, it is no more or less likely to be Tyler Robinson's receipt than my hamburger receipt, which is why I gave the hamburger example. The problem with the receipt is that it does not have any data that allows us to look at it and say, this is Tyler Robinson's. That's the problem with the receipt. If you could prove it was Tyler Robinson's, then I would agree it would be relevant. The problem is there has been no demonstration of that fact. And in fact, when Andrew asked Candace, hey, if you've seen the receipt, you've seen the number, the card number on the receipt. Did you call the merchant and ask whose name it is? And she said no. She said, no, I didn't call them to get the information.
Because the merchant is going to give that information out, right? Well, look, I also have more evidence I'd like to bring up. I think this is kind of moot because we've proven that.
Stop. She didn't say I called and the merchant didn't give me the information. She said she never called.
Yeah.
So so maybe the merchant would, maybe the merchant wouldn't. I don't know the answer to that question. I do know that she didn't even try because she said she didn't try.
Well, she said, the government would be the one who has the power to subpoena that information. So from what she stated, she's acknowledging that she doesn't believe she could actually get that information because she even says that in the debate with Andrew.
Okay.
So do you acknowledge that she said that? No. Do you acknowledge that she said that, or yes or no? Do you acknowledge that?
She didn't call to get the information. So if she didn't call to get the information, she doesn't have that information.
Okay, but do you acknowledge that she, when she was debating Andrew, said that this government would be the one to actually get that?
The government. By the way, the government could get it. Do you know the government didn't?
Okay, but the inference.
No. Do you know whether the government did get that information?
Keep reaching the point of why can't we just stick on one point?
Do you know whether the government got that information?
But why can't we stick on one point?
Do you know whether the government got that information?
Oh no, obviously I don't. Okay, now can we go back to the point that we were talking about?
Here's the reason why that. Here's the reason why that matters. Here's the reason why that matters. Because the government is obligated to give the information they have to the defense. The defense will have both the government's information and will have access to their client who knows whether or not he was there. Now, the defense chose not to bring any of this up. They might, if there's good evidence for this, maybe they'll bring it up later. But dollars to donuts, they won't. And the reason I don't think they will, and they certainly didn't at the hearing, is that there has been nothing produced to give any credibility to this receipt theory. Now, if they wanted to, there would be tons of ways to verify this, but no one has. And by the way, while the defense is not technically legally obligated to present all evidence at a preliminary hearing, and I'm going to be open and honest about that, if they could blow a massive hole in the state's case and prove it's all bullshit, they would.
Well, they haven't presented an argument, so how do we know they're going to do that or not? But on top of that, we don't know if the government even investigated it, because from my understanding, Kash Patel didn't want to look into foreign involvement, and he shut that down. Is that not accurate?
Who's trying this case?
Okay.
Who's trying the case?
Yeah, I get it.
Who is trying the case?
Anyways, look, I think I destroyed you on the evidence part
trying
because
the case?
Look, we're questioning the validity of the evidence.
Who is trying the case?
I do have more evidence that she presented. Can I present more evidence?
The case? You got to answer a question, or I'm not going to move off it. Who's trying the
state of what? Utah, right?
The state of Utah. The state of Utah. So
but didn't they pressure? Didn't the FBI pressure them?
Earlier, you admitted you don't know. Earlier, you admitted you don't know whether they investigated. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, because the whole reason I said that is because you're assuming they did investigate it, and they found that whether it's true or not, and then if it was true, then the defense would have had access to it and could have made that public. But your whole assumption is based on the fact that the government actually investigated. That's why I'm saying that we don't know if they did or didn't. So you clearly don't know what you're talking about. I have additional evidence that Candace did present.
So I'd love to hear your additional evidence, but let's just be clear. What we're at right now is there is a receipt with no information on it linking it to Tyler Robinson.
That's evidence.
On the basis of that, the basis of that, you think this is evidence that he didn't do it, based on what appears to be just an enormous number of leaps of faith and conjecture. But there's what hasn't happened, and this is why Candace couldn't produce any evidence, is actually connecting the dots. Because if she had called the merchant and got the information, she could have said that. This is not the sort of thing that is impossible to prove. If he was there, this is the sort of thing that is provable. You have the receipt. If they have credit card information, you can link the credit card to the person. This is very, very doable, but it has not been done. And the reason it hasn't been done, let's be honest, because it's bullshit. But anyway, what's your evidence? Go ahead.
I mean, look, whether we want to question the validity of it is one thing, but to say it's not evidence.
Okay.
And you know that.
I'm going to take a different tact in this conversation because we're going down in a circle. I have evidence.
Okay,
no, hold on. I'm going to try this a different way. I have evidence that you fuck pigs. I have evidence that you fuck pigs. And here's the evidence. I have pictures of you fucking pigs. Now, I'm not going to show you the pictures. You got to take my word for it. But I have damning evidence that you're a pig fucker. And that's the evidence I have. Now, are you saying it's not evidence? Are you saying are you saying my photos of you fucking pigs isn't evidence?
That's hearsay, isn't it? Isn't that hearsay? Because you haven't produced anything. Like if you produce a binder with pictures inside and you're like, hey, this is the binder which all these pictures exist and are inside of them. And here's a picture of somebody fucking a pig, but we censored your face. You know, at that point, it's like, well, there is evidence. It doesn't directly link because you can't say.
I have this picture of you fucking pigs. Now, look, you might think that this picture of you fucking pigs doesn't seem to link up to you very well. My God, but are you really going to question the validity of my evidence? Are you going to question the validity of are you going to say I have no evidence that you're a pig fucker when I've presented this to you? Look at the evidence I have. If that's
well, you know what I would say to you? I would say if that's your evidence, so I'm acknowledging that as evidence, I would say, well, then your claim doesn't make sense because it's not valid. Like, that's obviously not real. I wouldn't say, oh, that's not evidence. That's not
wait,
evidence.
hold on. So you are taking the position that this is evidence about whether or not you're a pig fucker.
In court, if you're submitting that, I would say that would be invalid, right? I would say, Your Honor, it's obvious the evidence that you're submitting is. Well, you even said there's contradictory evidence in court cases, right?
Well,
So what's the judge to do? Does the judge determine what's true and what's not true and throw evidence out? Or
Your
are they
Honor,
both supposed to be right?
I rest my case. We've had some fun. If you've got some parting words, go ahead and say them.
Well, I have other evidence that you don't want to talk about because you know I'll get you. So when we talk about the French Foreign Legion and she says that she did submit that, would that also not be evidence? Also, how did Candace get video of the guy taking the shot on the roof?
Sorry, she said she submitted evidence that she submitted her belief that someone tried to kill her.
Yeah, somebody from the French government reached out to her. So that was her source.
And said that someone tried to kill her.
That the government was planning to assassinate her, yeah.
Okay. How is that evidence about whether Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk?
Because the same source, I believe it's the same source, but other sources have also said that the French Foreign Legion was actually on the ground that day.
Okay.
On top of that, you have Kent that said there was the 12 Israeli cell phones. You have the random caliber that was on the roof that I guess the cops just randomly, rack their weapons while they're on the roof and leave a bullet on the ground. You also have Kash Patel who says don't look into foreign involvement. I mean, Oswald is the biggest conspiracy people say, right? And people say he's a patsy. And it's not that he wasn't involved in the assassination, it's that there was another shooter. But
now you're just throwing stuff out there. There's a bunch of stuff you said that she chose not to bring up. And she chose not to bring up because the explanations are fairly obvious. Like there was clear officer testimony about why they found a bullet on another roof, about why they cleared the chamber. So there's clear testimony on that point. She didn't bring it up for the same reason you probably should have known not to, because of the clarity of the testimony. But as regards to the French Foreign Legion point, here's my favorite thing about what Candace did there, because it was so funny, and I don't think she realized what she did. She's been complaining about the use of hearsay, reliable hearsay, in the preliminary examination. She's been complaining about it endlessly. Now, the reason that reliable hearsay is allowed in preliminary hearings is that if the police officers just make it up, if they just lie, if they make up charges, they're going to be held responsible for lying to a judge, for lying to the court, for lying to the system. Like they have responsibility, and if they just make shit up, they can be held to account. And that's why reliable hearsay is allowed in a preliminary setting. What was her rationale for saying that people should trust what she said about the Foreign Legion? Do you remember what she said? You remember what she said? I think
it's the fact that she has proven credibility with releasing information to the public and it's established.
Her rationale was if she lied to the government, she'd get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
the exact reason
her claim
she wants us to believe her about her whatever she said about the Foreign Legion to the government is the same reason why reliable hearsay is allowed. But she has a problem with reliable hearsay, but we're supposed to take her word for it about what she said to the foreign government. It's weird how that double standard applies.
Whether that double standard exists or not, it doesn't go to disprove the fact that she said that it did happen. And from the fact that it's a clear falsifiable, and then she added that she texted what's his name, Bongino. So why would she lie and then add more?
Let
me just finish this point.
We're going to have to go back to the pig fucking example.
No, you see, in addition
to my photographic evidence, I also am testifying that you're a pig fucker. So, God, I got you good now. We are really cooking with gasoline.
You won't even let me finish that thought, man. You knew I was about to get you, man. That's crazy. And you're defending Andrew's position, and this is what his team has. That's crazy.
Finish your pig fucking thought. Go ahead.
Okay, so my point is that when she was bringing up the French Foreign Legion, and she said she submitted it to Tosti's office, she also added that she sent Bongino a text message about it. If she was actually lying, why would she create more falsifiable channels for people to actually debunk her. Because all it takes now is Bongino to come out and says, "Oh, that never happened," or Tulsi's office to come out and say that never happened. You see, now whether the hypocrisy of the double standard of hearsay or not has nothing to do to actually discredit what she's saying to be accurate or true.
So her source is she said it, right? That's the argument. She said it.
Yeah, she was reporting it. But do you acknowledge that she's reported stuff that nobody else has access to?
And why do you think I made the joke about me saying that you're a pig fucker? What was the point of that joke?
That goes back to the first one where we were talking about the receipt and the validity of it. But it's still
and because people can say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but if she says well, do you acknowledge that she actually has released evidence never before seen to the public? Do you acknowledge that, or do you think she's bullshitting everything? Even the footage on the rooftop.
I do not watch her show, so I don't know what she has and has not done in its totality. Okay. I don't like the footage that she released about the rooftop. I have seen conflicting things on. I don't want to pretend I know what that was, whether it was the enhanced footage from the courtroom that someone recorded, or that if she enhanced the footage that was released and then re-released the enhanced version. I know with the photo in the garage of the bulky Tyler Robinson, it's been pretty clearly demonstrated that they edited the photo to make it look that way. So I don't know. I don't know how what that footage was and how she got it. But unlike Candace, I'm not going to pretend that I do.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I can see where the impasse is because since you're not actually keeping up with what she's providing in terms of her journalistic integrity, it makes sense that you would question everything the receipt.
Do you think Bridget McCrone's a man?
I mean, hold on. Did you think Michelle Obama's a man?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay, I'm just checking.
I think it's a funny meme, but no, she's not a man, bro. Do you think Bridget McCrone's a man?
I don't have an opinion on that, to be honest.
You don't? Okay. Well, it's been fun, my pig fucking friend, but I got some other callers in the back, so have a good one.
Well, hopefully you don't tell people that there was no evidence produced. I clearly demonstrated that there was evidence. Whether you question the validity or not is one thing, but we can say that there was evidence that she did provide.
I will grant you this. You produced as much evidence that Tyler Robinson is a patsy as I produced that you are a pig fucker. But we can leave it at that, my friend. Have a good one.